Welcome to another video from Dr. Lock. What we have here is something new and exciting. So have a look at this. This is a code machine. Key cutting code machine, single and double-sided keys. Just having a quick look at it there. Bigger than it looked on the photos. So we picked this up at auction. It's made by ilco Orion and it's a ECM200, as you can see there. Condition was used condition. Obviously it's been used. It's got a few blemishes here and there. There is a crack here that's been repaired many years ago. I'm okay with that. A few scruff marks there, a few marks there. That's what you call used condition. Not so bad. I was very impressed that the shipping company who I paid $200 to get this posted from Canberra, you know, they didn't break the shield. So if it had been broken or the slightest damage, it would have really cracked back here. So they shipped it really nicely. It was in the box, no damage, no problems whatsoever. So that was really good. What I'm not so happy about is that in the description it says used condition, the model, and it says powers on. And when I got it home here, and I'm, you know, going to do this video to show you guys this new machine that I've never seen before, this code cutting machine, I go to power it on. So I've got the power plugged in here, as you can see here. There's power coming down on the line. It comes back around here. There's a reset button here as well. We'll just push that. There's a COM port down the back, your standard kettle plug or computer plug, serial number, made in 1998. So it's something we haven't seen in Australia or, you know, around. Anyway, I go to plug it in and turn it on. So there's a button on the side here, so we'll just turn that on. No light, no indication, no nothing, and nothing there either. Okay, so then we turn this button on the front. No light, no indication, no screen, no motor. So the thing that really kind of annoyed me is I went back to the auction house who, you know, basically get about 25% sales fee for selling anything, and it's up to them to have some sort of reasonable description or make sure they're not selling rubbish to the general public, because a lot of people like to put through rubbish and sell things off that are broken, you know, to try and recoup some money. And it's up to the auction house to at least ask the client, look, is it working? And you know, they said, the client said it was working. First thing I noticed about this machine is when I got it, look at this, see the lid? Somebody's taken the screws out. So they've taken the screws out and this whole thing can move up, and they've done that. You know, I don't know why they've done that, but obviously somebody's had this apart and they've been trying to repair something. And then I went back to the auction house and I said, look, it's dead. There's no screen, there's no lights, there's no indication it's actually even taking power. How can you say that it powers up? And they said, oh, send it back. So they want me to spend $200, send it back, and then if I still want the machine, then I've got to pay another $200. If not, I'm left with, what, nothing? So it's getting a bit ridiculous. What I was hoping to do is take you through, show you this machine, show you how it powers up with Instacode, show you how it works, all those sorts of things, clean it up, and then you know, give it to somebody who I know who needs a code machine. But now I'm left with, you know, quite a large key machine where I've now got to start sourcing parts for, all because the auction house assisted the seller to sell off something that was completely faulty and shouldn't have been sold off in the way it was. They sold it off as powers on, used condition, and they mentioned the name and all the rest. So really what they should have said is used condition, working unknown, no, you know, no signs of power, and then at least we could have made that decision and said, okay, well, maybe I won't bid so much on it because it might need some unique parts that can't be got. Instead, they've you know, taken it in, and you take one look at this machine and you go like this, right? Screws missing. Why is all the screws missing? You know, so the screen doesn't work, and let's just have a look in here anyway, because I know you want to see what's inside. So there's the screen cables, right? They're all connected. They go into this box at the back. In all fairness, it's very clean inside there. Somebody does look like they've done some small electrical work here along the way, but you know, there's no light bulb in there as well. There was a light bulb that fell in there down the back, and I just basically just threw it out and bought a new one. But I'm going to say shame on the bloke from Canberra, probably another locksmith, who decided to put it on there and say, yeah, it's working, because obviously somebody's had it apart and they've tried to fix it. And this, you know, key machine is so unique. I've never seen one in Australia before. I've shown other people this key machine and they've said, oh, I've never seen that before either. So it's so unique. Only a few people in Australia would actually have this key machine, and one of them who had it and it was faulty decided to pass it off as a working item. So I say, mate, you're an arsehole, absolute arsehole. And for the auction company to plug it in and tell me, oh, when they turned it on, it started to, the wheel started to spin. That's not true. The wheel doesn't spin. Look at it. You turn it on. The wheel doesn't spin. It's a code machine, right? Nothing spins until you put a code in and you tell it how to cut and how to move. Nothing spins. So they tell me all these porkies. They say when they turned it on, it worked fine when it was there, right? Honestly, did it really work fine? How did they identify that it powers up? The light doesn't power up, the internal light doesn't power up, the screen doesn't power up, the motor's not moving. How do you say it powers up? So they basically advertised it as, you know, powers up, used condition. This is not used condition. This is parts condition. This is faulty condition. This is been repaired type condition, you know. This isn't even refurbished. You couldn't even say that. So I'm a little bit annoyed that we don't have a video to take through and show you this machine in its finer stages, showing you how it works, because it looks like a really cool machine. Unfortunately, we're in the stage now where we've got to invest more money into it because some dog in Canberra, who's also a locksmith, decides to pass it off for, you know, as working. What he should have done is said, look, doesn't power up, needs this or that, because they've clearly identified it has a problem. And to me, it looks like the screen's faulty, but that's not going to be a cheap piece of equipment in there anyway. But what they should have done is says, worked well, screen not working, or motor gone, something like that, so we could have gauged up and bid appropriately. And they also should have mentioned, you know, you look at that, see that big crack there? See that? That could have been mentioned as well. The missing screws as well could have been kind of mentioned. I mean, honestly, when you lift it up, look at that. You don't notice that somebody's had it apart and they've pulled it apart and done that. Here's another key machine. Ready? Look, doesn't move, right? And if I plug power into this one, hey, let's do that. Let's plug power into this one, see what happens. Just to show you that I know a little bit about key machines, right? Where's power? Where's power? Around this side. I just want to show you what happens with a key machine. This is how you plug in a machine, right? You plug it in, okay? You reach down here, you turn on the button. Oh, look at that. Power's on. That's what you call powering on. Power's off. Lights are on, power's on. No big deal. And you're probably thinking to me, oh, it's a different machine. Doesn't know what he's talking about, right? Okay. Let's go down my wall of keys. Code machine, another one. Let's test that. Power's on. Listen to it. I can hear it's on. I can see the light. I can see the screen. Ah, power's on. That's what you call powered on. I don't go pulling here and pulling all these parts and I don't see everything missing screws. Ah, another key machine. Power's on. Working condition. Right? You want another example? Oh, I can see the light. Power's on. Power's on. You know, so that's what I'm saying. I could go over code machine after code machine. Here's another one, right? Here's another one. Where are we here? We'll turn this on. Power's on. That's what you call powering on. This right here, with no signs of light, no signs of light from the button, no signs of anything from the screen, no sound, no noise, that is not powering on. And I'm making this video because the AllBids in Canberra, who we purchased this from, said that we have to send it back to prove that it was DOA, or dead on arrival. And pretty much I'm not sending it back. That's ridiculous. If anybody knows what's actually wrong with this machine, or if you knew a friend who had this machine, leave it down in the descriptions. I'd actually like to get this working so we can do the proper review on this video to show you actually what this machine can do, because that's why we pretty much bought it, to show this machine. If you know who it was who sold it as working, call them a dog for me, because I reckon you're an arsehole. For a couple of $100, I would have still paid half the money for this machine if it wasn't working. But I wouldn't have gone as high as I did, in the hope that, you know, if I'd known the screw's missing, it doesn't power on, no way would me and the other few people who wanted this machine be purchasing it. So anyway, that's my rant for today. Leave it down in the description if you know what's wrong with this. Leave it down in the description if you like the way I power up machines and I check them. I simply just plug them in and push the button. I look for life. Like, I think that's pretty critical. Anyway, leave it down in the description, and thanks for watching.